Boom! What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Happy Friday to you all, and welcome to another live beer review. Today we're going to be taking a look at one from a brewery. I don't think I've ever had any beers from these guys before, and I'm pretty damn excited, even though it's cold as fucking balls here in the Chicagoland area today. I think with the wind chill, it's like negative 28 right now, so I hope everybody in the Chicagoland area is staying nice and warm, staying inside. Don't go outside because it's It's a cold one today, and I decided to go with one that's gonna hopefully warm myself up in this nice kind of chilly afternoon. And so we're gonna be looking at this one called the Black Ops. It's part of their from Brooklyn Brewery. This is their special release of their Black Ops that is barrel aged in Four Roses barrels. And for some reason I thought they told you how long it was barrel aged in this stuff. I'm not 100% sure how long they barrel aged it, but it's their like namesake Imperial Stout with the Black Ops, and they decided to barrel age this one. So with Four Roses, of course, it's a great barrel to put it in. It's readily available, so if you're getting to look into barrel aging beers, of course, Four Roses is always a really good option. I think it brings off really good flavors. And of course, with it being a Russian Imperial Stout, a lot of the times Russian Imperial Stouts tend to be a little bit more on the drier, bitter side of things when it comes to what you'd expect from an Imperial Stout. But with the barrel aging process, of course, it's going to add a little bit of sweetness because the sugars that are inside of the barrel, of course, the little bit of oakiness from the char there as well. So I'm expecting a little bit of smokiness, maybe a little bit more of a chocolatey note maybe coming through from the barrel aging process, because a lot of the time when you barrel age a beer, chocolatey notes tend to come forward a little bit more. It's pretty damn fantastic to do. So I am pretty damn stoked about this one. Of course, this one comes in at 11.5% ABV, which is definitely... It's definitely up there when it comes to ABV. It's not the highest I've had, but having a nice almost 12% ABV Imperial Stout to kind of warm me up is going to be something that's pretty nice. Let's see. Cold as balls down here. 12 degrees with a wind chill of negative 21. Yeah, I definitely feel on that one when Tucky keeps the beer cold. So if you leave your beer in the garage, yeah, this is a perfect time to leave your beer in the garage, especially if just don't have it out in the elements to where it can possibly freeze. But if your garage is cold enough, you can probably just leave beer out in the garage nowadays. But yeah, I think it's time for us to crack this thing open and see what this thing's all about. I'm really curious if I'm going to get a lot of those like Russian Imperial Stout vibes that I usually get from a nice Russian Imperial Stout. Of course, having a little bit more of a bitterness, a little bit more of just that kind of. Sometimes you get a little bit of hoppy bitterness in them. Sometimes you do that, but a lot of times you're going to get a lot of roasty notes. Definitely a lot of coffee flavors come forward in Russian Imperial Stouts. But yeah, I think this one's going to be pretty damn delicious. So let's crack this thing open and see what we get on the nose. Hey, I hear you, Kevin. It's okay, man. Don't worry. But let's see what this guy's all about. Oh, yeah, definitely getting the booziness. Definitely getting like a chocolate, definitely a sweeter kind of chocolate note coming forward on this one. That's for damn sure. But yeah, there's a distinct smell that you get from a beer that you know is barrel aged, and that just, oh my god, I love it. Getting a little bit of a booziness coming through. Definitely getting hints of like bourbon and all that kind of stuff like that. But yeah, this smells absolutely fantastic. So I'll be pouring this into my Brother Chimp glass this afternoon. Of course, Brother Chimp Brewing Company is in North Aurora, a little bit of south of me. But yeah, let's pour this guy and see what it's all about. Oh yeah, look at that. Black as my soul. Nice little bit of head, but nothing too crazy. Yeah, that just looks absolutely delicious, if I say so myself. And really nice kind of light brown head to it. Still bringing off a lot of those like little boozy notes coming through, definitely chocolatey notes, all kinds of just great aromas coming through it for sure. Yeah, that is absolutely smelling fantastic. So let's give this guy a try and see what it's all about. So cheers, everybody. Happy Friday. Ooh, that's nice. It's definitely a lot lighter on flavor than I thought it would be. It's not like in your face, anything like that when it comes to just pungent kind of booziness. It's actually a lot smoother and a lot just like when it comes to flavor, very light on flavor, which is very surprising and very dangerous when it comes to an 11.5% ABV Russian Imperial Stout. But you definitely get hints of chocolate. You definitely get hints of oakiness. Mouthfeel is a little bit... It's definitely a heavy mouthfeel, but definitely more on the thinner side of things. It's not really syrupy, but it's not really effervescent. But overall, yeah, flavors aren't bad on this one. But I'm absolutely surprised that you don't taste much more of the booziness. I wonder if this was just like maybe a month or two age. Because sometimes you get a little bit of booziness from that, even though you probably brewed it to a high ABV and then you just put it in the barrel for a little bit to kind of get that ABV up there a little bit more. But I'm surprised as, like, I'm not getting as much booziness slash oakiness slash the chocolatey notes from the barrel aging process, which is interesting. But overall, it's nice. It's a lot light, like I said, a lot lighter than I expected, which is really unique, I guess you can say. But yeah, it's not bad at all. Not bad. Just not what I expected. I'm gonna be completely honest here. It's not what I expect to be. I expect to be kind of pungent in your face kind of situation. But overall, not bad at all. Not bad at all. So let's look here at Untappd and see what they're showing here for similar beers on this one. So, of course, this similar beers list looks pretty good. So let's see what they got here. So we got one here from Lexington Brewing and Distilling, which is their Kentucky Maple Barrel Stout, 12%. Let's see, it's a double Imperial Stout, so aged in 18 months in bourbon maple syrup barrels. That actually sounds fantastic. So I don't know if I really consider that one. You're going to get maple with that one. Of course, they have another Brooklyn Brewery here with their black chocolate stout. I'm not really going to talk about that because I'm not going to suggest a Brooklyn Brewery beer when you most likely, if you can't get your hands on this one, you most likely can't get your hands on that one as well. But let's see what else we got here. We got one here from Brewdog USA, which is it's a Butte, 7.5%, like National Lampoon kind of themed. What is this? Pecan and Toffee Stout. Nah, I think this one's gonna be a little bit sweeter, maybe a little bit more on the pastry stout side of things. We got one here from the Goose Island, which is their Bourbon County brand Sir Isaac Stout, which is a 13.9%, and definitely stuff that Bourbon County does when it comes to Goose Island making their Bourbon County beers. There's definitely a significant booziness to theirs, so I can definitely see similarities because of the barrel aging process, but I don't know if I'd put this when it comes to tasting similar, just because how light this one is when it comes to flavor. And then we got one here from Trillium Brewing Company, which is the Oh Nuts, which is most likely a peanut kind of themed. They collabed with Other Half, and let's see what's hazelnut, peanuts, almonds, and Madagascar vanilla. So yeah, I would say that one's gonna be a little bit more nutty slash a little bit more sweeter. But yeah, this similar beers list for this one is a little bit, I don't know, not for me. But let's look here at Untappd. Let's go to my page and see what we can find. That's going to be maybe a little bit more similar. So if you're going on your own Untappd, you can actually look at your beer history and kind of see if you can find something similar. If like you've had something already and you remember what something tastes like. So let's go over here. Of course, this is labeled under Stout Russian Imperial. So we're going to go all the way down to Stout Russian Imperial. And let's see what my options are. So let's see. So we got the Dobroy Noche, which to me, I like that one better than this one, to be honest. Coconut Phantom Unicorn. Yeah, I guess maybe the Coconut Phantom Unicorn could probably be something similar to this one from Pipeworks. The Blackout Stuff from Great Lakes Brewing Company is definitely something on the little bit more of the bitter side. Same with the Young Arthur V2 with from Excalibur. Maybe, I guess you can put this one somewhat similar to the Make Russia Great Again for the Fudge Brown, even though, because I remember that one is a little more on the bitter side, but not as sweet. Oh, let's see. Maybe this one from Beguile, the Rye Whiskey Barrel Aged Snooze Button is definitely an option. Our Barrel Aged Two-Ton Bonnet over at Fibs is definitely something I'd put in the similar category as this, even though that one's a little bit higher in ABV. Of course, you got the Russian Rhapsody from Church Street. What else? Yeah, if I had to pick something that's going to be the most similar to this one, I'd probably put this in the realm of being towards our Two-Ton Bonnet, or maybe the Make Russia Great Again one, with still having a little bit more of those bitter notes coming through still, but still being pretty light on flavor, to be completely honest here. So, yeah, I'm probably going to say this is the most similar to what if there was a lighter version of our Two-Ton Bonnet over at Fibs, this tastes pretty close to it, I would say. With this on our barrel-aged Two-Ton Bonnet, there's definitely more of a significant booziness because we aged those for, I think it was like close to 6 to 8 months in those barrels. So we had those in there for quite a little, it feels like quite a little bit longer than what this tastes like. But Let's look here back at Untapped. And of course, like I described before, it's 11.5% ABV. So I would not consider this on any way to be sessionable at all when it comes to just... I think this is going to be something that most likely is going to catch up with you after you have a can of it. So I wouldn't really put this in the realm of being sessionable at all, even though it tastes a lot lighter with it being at 11.5%. Sure, the glasses might go down easy, but maybe it'll be a situation where you try to stand up, you're like, oh, that's where it's been. So these are definitely in the realm, I would say, at the point of this is a dangerous beer just because how light the flavors are, and just seems like it's really easy to drink. So, but overall, the flavors are nice, I would say, on this one. Definitely, like I said, a lot lighter on the flavors than I expected. So, and looking back here at Untapped, it states that it's 70 IBUs, so they hop this one pretty significantly during the boil. I could see this probably being around a 90-minute boil just for how the flavors are. Of course, when it comes to stouts, you can go crazy when it comes to possible like 2-hour boils if you want to just get that just really, really strong concentrated. Even though with the 2-hour boil, you're most likely going to get to the point where you're going to kind of boil the bitterness out. So if you're wanting the bitterness to stick in a little bit more, if you're making like a Russian Imperial Stout, you want to kind of stick to it like your 90-minute boil probably. Or I've seen people do 60-minute boils too for Russian Imperials as well. But yeah, 70 IBUs. You don't really taste the hoppy bitterness from this one. And with over 502 ratings, this one has an average rating of 3.92 out of 5, which is not bad. Not bad at all. So let's look here at my friends list, see if there's anybody that I'm friends with on Untapped that has checked this one in. So let's see here. My uncle checked this one in, of course, when my dad bought the 4-pack from Binny's. He got one for me, got one for my uncle, one for him, and then one for my my cousin's husband, who's another big craft beer fan like all of us, a lot of us on my dad's side of the family. So he checked it in. He doesn't really give it ratings. He just checks it in to keep like a catalog of what he's had. My dad checked this one in. He, of course, purchased location at Binny's Beverage Depot, which is probably the Bloomingdale one. Yeah, the Bloomingdale location. And he gave it a 4.25 out of 5. So he must have really liked this one, even though I don't know if I'm going to give mine quite that high of a rating. Sure, it's dangerous, but I kind of would have wanted a little bit more of that punch and kind of oomph into it. So, because that's what I expect from barrel-aged beer. I expect it to be boozy. I expect it to kind of just be strong in your face, kind of just like very, very sip-worthy. When it comes to this one, the flavors are a lot lighter, and it just gets to the point where this doesn't feel like a sip-worthy kind of beer, even though it's 11.5 and I probably should sip it. This feels like it's going to go down a lot easier than it should. But let's see what people are saying on the global ratings on this guy and see what other people have to say. So this person gave it a 4.75 out of 5. Oh, we got a 4.25 out of 5. Here's what he said was dangerously easy to drink, which I definitely would agree. This person gave it a 4.25. Purchased at Shangy's, the Beer Authority, which is in Emmaus, Pennsylvania. I don't know if that's anywhere near you, Kevin. Who knows? But of course, we got one. It's a 3.5 out of 5. Purchased at the Lucas Liquor Superstore, which is in Kansas City, Missouri. So what else we got here? We got a 4 out of 5. 4.5 saying the mouth feels surprisingly thin. Otherwise, man oh man, is this choked oaked and vanilla unique and tasty. Yeah, definitely would agree on the thin mouthfeel on that one. I don't know if I would really agree when it comes to just like oakiness, vanilla kind of flavors in your face, because like to me everything's just a little bit more muted than what I expected. So we got another 4 out of 5 here, 3.75. We got a 4.25. Another 4.25 saying very nicely done. Excellent bourbon flavor. What else we got here? Somebody gave it a 2 out of 5 saying struggling to finish this. This is very bitter stout and had a sour finish. Oaky but missing the sweet bourbon flavor. Something is wrong with this can. So maybe this guy, I don't know, had an interesting experience with his. He purchased his at a Kroger, which does it say what state this Kroger's in? So this one was a Virginia Kroger, so maybe they had a bad batch happen. I don't know. Brooklyn Brewery is definitely a brewery that I would consider more of a bigger brewery out there. They definitely have a lot more availability when it comes to distribution, so maybe there was one batch that kind of just was a little off. What else we got here? We got a 4.5. We got a 4.5 purchase at the Milano's Mini Market, which is in New Hampshire, in Concord. And then what they said was lots of boozy, oaky flavors this year. Wow. So yeah, let's do one more out of this. And this guy gave it a 4 out of 5. Purchased at the Lucas Wine and Spirits, which is in Kansas City, Missouri. So yeah, a lot of people seem to like this one. They think it's pretty easy to drink. A lot of people are giving that 4.25 rating as of lately. See some 3.5s. The guy that had a 2 out of 5 rating is definitely an interesting situation. Maybe he just didn't have a good batch or anything like that. But overall, I would say the beer's pretty solid. There was some things that I would probably change a little bit on it when it comes to maybe get that mouthfeel up there to change a little bit with having a thin mouthfeel. I would probably put it to the point where you would probably get closer to a 2-hour boil. Maybe if they're doing a 90-minute boil, there's definitely not enough bittering hops in this one that I would, so like not early boil hops added to it to where the bitterness would come through that you would expect to get out of a Russian Imperial. So I may would add just a little bit more, either a first wort hop or possibly just more of an early boil hop to put in there to make this one a little bit more of that Russian Imperial style bitterness coming through. Of course, maybe have the boil be a little bit longer to kind of have that heavier of a mouthfeel, because it's really, really Emmaus. Okay, correct pronunciation. Okay, right by Allentown. Got it. Okay. So yeah, but yeah, there would be some things that I would change with this one, but overall the flavors are nice. Like I said, even though they're a little bit muted, it's still pretty solid, I would say. So overall, flavors are good, but I don't know if I'm going to give this like a crazy high rating as some of the other barrel-aged Imperial Stouts that I've had before. So with that being said, let's start trying to figure out what we're going to be doing for ratings over here at our end with this guy. So I'm going to pour a little bit more in there because I'm planning on finishing this can. But let's see here. Of course, the first thing we like to look at is can art. And with Brooklyn Brewery being a little bit more of a bigger brewery than a lot of the usual stuff that I review, they have it to where they have their cans printed with their stuff. So this isn't a label or anything. So they have the Brooklyn Brewery, the big B in the center with almost like that fingerprint kind of situation in the center, which I think is a really nice touch. Almost having the like Black Ops. I don't know what the Black Ops would have anything to do with that fingerprint point of it, but then of course the Four Roses on there showing it's a Four Roses barrel-aged beer, so they have the roses on the bottom. Of course, the font on there is nice, it's clean, it's classy. Not really anything too complicated when it comes to detail and intricacy on there, but overall this is still something that would catch my attention at a liquor store or bottle shop. It's pretty close to being to that point where it would be something that I just walk right past and wouldn't even really pay attention to it, to be honest. So luckily my dad picked this one up, because if I would have probably seen this at a liquor store or bottle shop, there would have been a good chance that I would have most likely just walked right past it. I'm going to be completely honest here. So overall, can art with this one, I'll give it maybe a 2.75 to a 3. Nothing really that's speaking to me on it. I like some of the stuff they did on there when it comes to the Four Roses part of it. I like the thumbprint aspect of it. But overall, this is can art that really doesn't really speak to me in any way, which is fine. So yeah, I'll probably give close to like 2.75 to a 3 for can art. Not bad, but still something that would probably be that I would just walk right past, to be honest. I think the marketing could have been done a little bit more on this one. Who knows? But let's see here. If I went over to Brooklyn Brewery and got this beer in a flight, would I get another one? I'll be completely honest here. Just because of how easy it is to drink and with the ABV and trying to be a responsible adult, even though sometimes I tend to avoid that, I'd probably say no on getting another one, just because it's too easy to drink and I don't want to have too many of these 5-ounce glasses and just have it be just going down way too quick and not have a situation where I can drive home or anything like that. But if I was in a situation to where maybe I had a designated driver with us and all that kind of stuff, would I get another one of these? It all depends on how I'm feeling. If I had a better option of a more of a boozy and just like a stronger Imperial Stout as an option, I'd probably go to that one before this one. Even though these are flavors that I do enjoy in a stout and everything like that. They're there, but they seem a little bit muted from what I've experienced with a nice barrel-aged stout. So overall, flavors are pretty solid on it, even though it's, like I said, it's muted a little bit in my taste specifically. But overall, I still think they did an okay job. I think, like I said, there would be some stuff that I would do a little bit different with this one. Maybe barrel age it a little bit longer to kind of have those boozy flavors and all those boozier kind of notes that come through with the bourbon and all that kind of stuff come through just a little bit more, and I think it would have been that much better. So maybe like extend their barrel aging process with this one a little bit more. Who knows? But overall, still a not bad beer from Brooklyn Brewery. So with that being said, what am I going to do for a final rating on this guy? I'd probably give it like a 7.25 out of 10, to be honest here. Like, when it comes to barrel-aged stouts that I've had recently, this is probably the most underwhelming barrel-aged stout that I've had in recent months, year kind of situation. So, if you want to give it a try, sure, go ahead. Of course, if you're looking for something that's a little bit different, if you want something that's a little bit lighter on flavor, if you're not too crazy about the heavy, boozy barrel-aged stouts, if you still like the kind of the oakier notes that are kind of added to it, this might be the beer for you. If you don't want anything that's too kind of crazy when it comes to just strong barrel-aged beer, this might be the one that you're looking for. So if you're looking for something like that, I would definitely recommend trying it. But this is probably one beer that I'm going to have once and then most likely never go out of my way to purchase again. I'll be completely honest. It's like I said, it's good, but it's not something that I would search for when it's like, oh, it's around the winter time, around holidays, to where I know Brooklyn Brewery comes out with their Four Roses release. I'm not going to go out of my way to try to purchase it again. So I think, yeah, 7.25 is where I'm going to leave it with this one. Not bad, but there's definitely things that I've had that are a lot better. So other than that, I think that is pretty much what I have for you guys today. So thank you everybody in chat for hanging out. You guys are awesome. If you haven't yet, please hit that like button. It helped me out a lot. Also, if you're new to the channel and like what you see, make sure you hit that subscribe button along with that notification bell. It'll let you know whenever I go live during the review. I don't know if I've decided to do reviews tomorrow and Sunday or not, just because it's Christmas or Christmas Eve. I might do some. Maybe I might do some. I don't know. We'll see if people are around. I know a lot of people are going to be spending time with their families and all that kind of stuff, so I'm not putting it against anybody. If a review comes up, don't feel that you have to be obligated to come in here when you should be spending time with your family. I may do one just to kind of pass time a little bit during like Christmas Eve and Christmas Day and all that kind of stuff like that. So if you want to come by, if I decide to do reviews tomorrow and Sunday, you're more than welcome to, but who knows? I haven't decided yet. But of course, if you want to see if I'm going to be doing reviews this weekend, of course, you can get yourself over to my Instagram. That'll be the first place you see if I'm going to be doing a review. Plus, you can see all the other stuff I do over there when it comes to behind-the-scenes stuff over at Fibs. Of course, it's going to be lacking on Fibs stuff because we're kind of closed down for the rest of the year. I mean, we're going to be open, but it's not. We have nothing to do over the brewery until the beginning of the year now, so I'm off of work, going to be able to get some reviews done for you guys, so won't be any Fib stuff over at the Instagram page, but of course you'll still see different posts that I'll be doing for beers that I'm going to be reviewing as well. But of course, you can always shoot me a friend request on Untappd as well. You guys hear me talk about Untappd all the time. It's a fantastic platform. You can check in beers, get badges, all that kind of stuff. I like to call it Facebook for beer drinkers. It's pretty much what it is. So if you're in chat right now and you haven't gotten yourself on Untappd yet, I would definitely recommend do so. And while you're doing that, shoot me a friend request. Link to my profile is down in the description below. And of course, I'm always going to recommend the best way to support me and help me do what I do and help support this channel. The best way to do so is to head over to the Patreon. I do monthly 4-pack giveaways over there, Illinois exclusive craft beer. Plus, I'm working on some other stuff for some other things and everything like that. So, possibly different giveaways and more stuff that can come out. I'm working on getting to the point where I can come out with different merch and all that kind of stuff like that. Shirts, hoodies, glassware, coasters, koozies, a beer helmet for face meat, a bunch of different stuff. So that's in the works, but the best way to help get that stuff with the ball ribbon on that one is to get over to the Patreon and join over there, because that's going to help me greatly with this channel and help me get all that stuff going. So if you want to help support me and help me do what I do, the Patreon is going to be the best way to do so. But other than that, that is what I have for you guys today, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you again, everybody in chat, for hanging out. You guys are awesome. Thank you, everybody who's going to be watching the replay as well. And I'm ending this like I always do before we get the hell out of here. If you're going to drink responsibly. Don't drink and drive. And I'll see you all next time. Cheers.